Getting lost in a relationship means that you're not fully centered in yourself, often feeling like you've lost your sense of self, or you feel uncomfortable expressing yourself, or you feel afraid of being yourself because you're afraid you're going to be rejected by your partner. These are all very normal and common things to feel, and I've felt them. Hi, my name is Taya, and this is my channel, The Loving Revolutionary, where we talk about all kinds of self-growth things and philosophy. So if you're dealing with these issues of feeling lost and just not really feeling safe to take up space, or maybe not even knowing who you are, it's very likely that you are a person that tends to focus on other people rather than yourself. You're likely very attuned to other people's emotions, and it's probably quite likely that you're also a big people pleaser. None of this is anything to feel shameful about. It's extremely common, and it's a survival mechanism. A lot of the ways in which we react or act in the world actually stems from our childhood, when we learned what was safe and what was not safe, and what was the best way for us to interact in the world in order to get our needs met. But now that you're older, you can reflect upon the way you behave and really assess whether it is still serving you, and if these behaviors are something that you want to continue to hold on to, or if there's something that you feel like you can let go of and move into a new state of being that may be a lot more fulfilling and aligned with what you truly want to experience in your life and how you want to show up to the people around you. As we tackle this quality, we will go through it mostly looking at it from a romantic perspective, but know that this behavior probably shows up in your friendships and other aspects of your life, and becoming more conscious of it and understanding and changing it in your romantic relationship will also allow you to look at it from the other perspective and give you some clarity about how you may change those other aspects, and hopefully it will come to affect your whole life in whole. And truly the whole purpose of looking at this aspect of yourself is to grow into who you truly are, who your higher self is. This being that isn't so controlled by this conditioned fear and doubt and worry. Because when you've overcome those limiting aspects of yourself, you can truly enjoy your life as you, as the freest version of you, and know that regardless of what happens, even if your boyfriend or partner stops liking you for who you truly are, you will be better off. Regardless of who you are and what your beliefs are about yourself, you truly have the right and you truly have the ability to live the life that you want to live. You only have one life as you, and why would we waste that time in such limited ways of being, where we're constantly afraid of not being enough or feeling safe enough to express who we truly are? So if you find yourself in this position, it's very probable that you tend to be a people pleaser, as I said, and maybe an empath, which means that you're very attuned to other people's emotions. This stems from the fact that as a child, something happened to you where you didn't feel safe expressing yourself fully. And your survival mechanism, or the way that your brain understood how to get your needs met, was through starting to care more about other people and to start hiding yourself. And the problem with this is that, especially in romantic relationships, these types of people tend to focus more on the other person and deny their own needs. But the fact is that in the long term, this is never going to work out. You're never going to feel truly happy, and neither will the other person. Even if consciously both of you are trying to convince yourself that you are happy, there will be a part of you, subconsciously, deeply inside of you, that is always going to feel unwhole, because neither of you feel like you're in your power. If you are a people pleaser, or if you are coming or behaving from a space of fear, then you're going to attract another person who is also acting from a space of fear. Just as if you are in the process of healing yourself, you will attract someone else who is also equally on that path. So usually, and especially from my own experience, what I have noticed is that I have had the tendency to lose myself in relationships. It's really easy to have this addictive want for someone else to give you the energy or the aspect of yourself that you unconsciously feel that you are missing. But the fact is that nobody can fill that for you, which is equally confusing and sad as it is marvelous and beautiful. And it's difficult because relationships have been created by our society to be this like solution. Even if you look at a lot of Disney movies and stuff, like you always have the princess who gets saved by the prince, and unconsciously when we watch this as kids, we're starting to believe that when I feel unwhole, I have to wait for someone else to make me feel whole again. And this doesn't just apply to women or men or anybody else for that matter. It just applies to relationships as a whole. Men maybe tend to feel like they are there to save the princess, and the princess might feel like she's there to be saved. But ultimately, this doesn't work because there is nobody who is fully whole. Life is a growing process and a learning experience. So there is no perfect person who is going to magically complete you and make you feel whole and loved and make you feel everything that you're missing. Obviously, it can feel like this in the beginning, which is often known as the honeymoon phase. And this is such a beautiful feeling, getting to know someone and experiencing this tension and like the possibility. But if you felt the honeymoon phase before, it's likely that you've become more familiar with the phase that comes after it, which is when all of this newness kind of dies off and a new feeling arises from it, which is truly equally wonderful. But speaking from my own experience, again, I know that it's really easy to get stuck in this feeling of the honeymoon phase and being so excited by what could happen. And then gradually you realize that it's not all the things you thought it would be. Because again, regardless of who you're seeing, nobody can take you away from your inner pain. That is the inner journey that all of us must face in life. And oftentimes we project this and think maybe there's something wrong with our partner because they're not fulfilling us in the old way that they used to. But don't do this. Know that it's natural to lose that excitement, and it doesn't mean that anything is wrong with your relationship. It also just means that you're going into a new phase where the relationship is more centered around trust and appreciation rather than this other feeling of excitement. But regardless of what phase you're in, if you have this tendency to be a people pleaser and to project a lot onto your partner, which you do regardless of what position you're in, even if you're not the people pleaser, people project a lot. But specifically in this case where you feel yourself getting lost in a relationship, what does that really mean and what is happening and how can we fix that? Well, essentially being a people pleaser or getting lost in a relationship means that you're not fully centered in yourself, and you likely have a lot of fear in showing up as your true self, and you might not even know who that is, and that's completely okay. A lot of us haven't felt safe to express who we are, but the fact is that is a fear we have to start challenging in our life in order to move past it, in order to discover who we are. And self-discovery is always going to be a big aspect of life, one of the biggest ones, and it's going to show up in different ways. But specifically in this sense, it can be very difficult when you get caught up in the responsibilities of a relationship to learn who you are, to make space for yourself. So for my case, what I decided to do was to stop dating people completely for a while. And obviously this isn't the ultimate solution or what you have to do, but it could be right if you find yourself always yearning for a relationship, but none of them seem to be working out long term. It might be a sign that it's time for you to take a step away and actually learn who you really are. To learn that you don't have to have a partner to be happy. You don't have to have a partner support you in order to do the things you want to do. For me, having a relationship and a partner was a way to kind of hide from life because it made me feel more complete. It made me feel more okay. And my last long-term partner that I had, when we broke up, I felt this huge emptiness of like, oh my God, now I have to deal with life myself and alone, which was one of the biggest fears that I had. But truly, you have to empower yourself if you want to be in a happy relationship at some point. Empowering yourself is like the very, very, very core of living a truly fulfilling life, because you are on this earth to live for you and obviously to serve people in that process. But the best way to serve others is through your true innate gifts. And you might not even know what those are if you've never taken the time to listen to yourself or to express yourself or to discover what brings you joy and what your true valuable skills are that you can bring to this world. So truly, honestly, at the core, if you have any problem in your life, the solution might be to discover yourself more. But this red flag of I am getting lost in my partner, or I need my partner, or I need a relationship to feel excited about life again, that is a big sign that it's time to find excitement without a partner. And as I said, if you're already in a very committed relationship, this is completely possible. But you have to be very aware of your boundaries. You have to become more aware of when you are using your partner as a crutch. And this process can take a much longer time if you have a crutch, because it makes it easier for you to put the difficult things on the side and avoid them. Whereas if you choose to be single for a while and truly discover yourself, then you are forced to be in the position of discovering yourself. If you are a young person, it can be really, really helpful to do this in your 20s or before that, because you don't have as many responsibilities or things tying you down, which is what I've decided to do. And honestly, I know this is going to help support me in the rest of my life. And obviously it's never too late, but it's always fantastic to grow a strong, sturdy base and understanding for yourself whenever you have the opportunity to. So the reason why I suggest being alone is because you need to become comfortable being with yourself. You're only going to learn about what you truly want if you give space to truly be with yourself. And a lot of people really struggle being alone because they've been pushing it away for so long. But the thing is, it's truly not scary. People tend to avoid a lot of uncomfortable feelings their whole life. And all of us have some uncomfortable feelings. And they will likely come up when you decide to sit with yourself. What I recommend doing with this is to start an internal conversation with yourself, perhaps through a journal, which can be really helpful to get that energy out on paper and those thoughts out on paper, but also having just an internal conversation with yourself or even out loud can be very helpful. Vocalizing what you need and how you feel is such an important and empowering first step. Get to know yourself first is the first step. By sitting in silence, by journaling, and make sure to ask yourself questions like, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? What am I afraid of? What am I trying to avoid? And answer it with honesty and develop a feeling of safety with yourself. And the next step is to have compassion for whatever it is that you're feeling, because all emotions are valid, even if they seem super over the top and dramatic and, you know, whatever you've been taught is wrong. And by this, I don't mean that accept your emotions to the fact where you project it onto other people and whenever someone makes you mad, just yell at them. No, I'm saying be honest with yourself in your own safe space with regards to what you're feeling. And you can be that loving person that just supports you through all that pain and that has compassion and understands that there's certain aspects of you, there's even like an inner child and dramatic parts of you that all have the right to exist, but they don't have to be, you know, projected onto other people. And truly this is important, because any emotion, in order to be fully relieved of it and for it to be let go, you have to feel it and you have to understand it and you have to listen to why it's coming up, because again, they're coming up for a reason. And accepting the dramatic or the unpleasant parts of yourself is giving them permission to be, and that allows them to just be in peace rather than fighting to be heard. Whenever they have to fight to be heard, that's when they come out in these really unpleasant ways that can kind of affect our life negatively. Now that you've created this safe space with yourself and this understanding for who you are, find more ways to express yourself in ways that feel good for you. Think about who you were when you were younger. What did you enjoy doing? Were you a dancer or a singer or whatever? Make space to do this and indulge yourself in the true things that you like, instead of being afraid that other people might judge them. Now that you've created this safe space for yourself, congratulations. I want you to be brave enough to start doing this around other people. This can be the hardest part, because truly we hide ourselves because we're afraid of other people's opinions, because in the past people have told us that something that we are is wrong. But if you think about how many different people there are in the world, there are people who are going to love your weirdness, they're going to love your self-expression. And the fact is that if you think about this, your self-expression, even if it is weird or rude or mean or funny or unpleasant or awkward, it gives permission for someone else to be weird and funny and goofy or whatever. Humans share all of the same personality traits, and obviously none of us are the exact same, but we share the basic aspects. And you stepping into your power allows someone else to step into theirs. And also there are so many people who feel more empowered and who want to support you in that. So have faith that the more you choose to step into yourself and your truest expression, other people who are on the same path will be attracted to you, and you will support each other, and you will feel healed by their presence and their love for who you are as your truest self, as your true expression of what you want to be and what you want to experience in this world, because there's truly nothing wrong with you. This will feel uncomfortable, and that's okay. It's a process, but know that it will get easier with practice and time. Your old truth has been that you don't get to be who you want to be. It's not safe for you. But it's not truly a real truth. The fact about truth is that you can recreate it at any point, and it is just a belief. So with this, you are creating a new you, a new life, and you will heal yourself, and through relating with other people, you will allow yourself to be healed by them. And everything is gonna be beautiful and magic and puppies and flowers, eventually. And eventually, when the time is right, through your authentic expression and staying strong with that and continuing and discovering it through both beautiful experiences and difficult experiences, which inevitably show up sometimes in life, know that when the time is right, if you're looking for a romantic partner, that will come into your life, and this will be a person who gets to see the authentic you and gets to decide to love that authentic version of you. And it's going to be so much more fulfilling to know that someone loves you through and through, with all of your quirks and with all of your darkness and with all of your beauty. And your relationship will be much stronger than any relationship where you didn't truly feel like you could be yourself. And through having practiced this both alone and with other people, you will have created the tools to stay strong in your own expression. And remember that obviously when we share romantic relationships, it can feel like there's more pressure for us to align with them. But truly, ultimately, your expressing yourself is going to be far more fulfilling than any relationship with someone who doesn't love you for who you are. And having a good source of community and purpose that is aligned with who you truly are and what you want to create in the world is going to give you a bigger feeling of safety and purpose and like just rightness in your life, so that you feel less dependent on a relationship to fulfill you. And it's really important to remind you of the beautiful things that you already have in your life, so that you don't feel automatically like you want to sacrifice so much for this person, so you get to hold on to them and feel safe. Because the truth is, you are already safe and you are already whole, and you always have been. The fact is that you were just taught as a kid that it wasn't okay for you to be in your wholeness. But now, hopefully, after watching this video, you can feel a bit more safe in discovering that and stepping back into that power. If you are in a relationship going on this journey, you are equally as capable of feeling and discovering all of these other things. Just be aware of the fact that depending on you and your partner, it can feel more challenging because there may be more fear that they will leave you. In this, you have to decide whether for you it is more important to live a life where you truly feel safe to express yourself and live your highest joy and potential, or whether it is better to stay in a relationship where you're always going to feel slightly unfulfilled and insecure. For me, the choice has been to empower myself, and honestly, I think this is the best choice. But people grow at different times and different degrees, so only you can make that decision for yourself. And of course, if you start to embark on it with your partner, there's always the chance that they will join you. So I don't think there is any negativity in bringing it up to them and, you know, giving them the opportunity to join you. And that can turn into such a beautiful relationship as well, where you get to dive deeper and understand each other understand each other better, hold space for each other. But just make sure that you are giving yourself the space to truly understand who you are, and to give yourself the safety to feel safe alone and to express yourself alone. Because unconsciously we can have a lot of blocks even when we are with someone that we trust and we love. And if it doesn't work out, just know that through this you will eventually find someone at the right time who will love you authentically for who you are. That is just a given if that's what you're looking for. So getting little hugs by this leaf. Yeah, best of luck, and I love all of you guys. Oops. And I love all of you guys, and I'll see you back for the next video next week. Best of luck and kisses.